Hello everyone, welcome to the first webinar in the Release Technique series. This is the first in a series of 6 webinars that we will be offering using the Release Technique, which helps you clear and move out of the subconscious beliefs that have been holding you back in your life. I want to start by making sure that everyone can see me and hear me. If you can't, please scroll down to the chat section and put in a chat and let Elke, who is the monitor on the call, know that you can't see me, and she will do what she can to look after that. So welcome again. I'm excited to be offering this work. It's very powerful work, and I would like you to know that as we go through and we are doing the clearing, that sometimes you may not see the results until the next day, and you actually may feel a bit worse before you feel better because it is such deep work. But I'll just do a little bit of housekeeping around the call first, so you know how to navigate this webinar, and then we'll move into the sessions. So again, I'm delighted that you're all here and that we have this opportunity to work together today. So to ask a question, you'll see a box on the page where you can do that. You just go into a chat. And so I would ask everybody to do that now, whatever the issue is that you are bringing into this webinar. If you could submit that now so that Elke will have the list of the concerns that people are bringing forward. And she will see your questions, and then she will show them to me when the time comes for me to be working through the issues that are coming forward. And I want you to know that there is divine planning on these calls. It's no accident who comes together for these sessions. We are brought together because we have similar concerns to work on, and we all, when we clear for one, we are clearing for everyone. And so if you feel that someone brings something forward that you know that you're working on in your life as well, I want you to know that when we release in these webinars as a group, my intention is that each person in the group receives the benefit of each clearing that happens, so that this is not just for one person at a time, it's for everyone. And also know that if you're on this webinar and your concern hasn't come forward, to again trust that you are receiving the clearing from the ones that have gone forward, and that the divine planning again brings forth the questions that are cleared and answered because they're going to benefit the most people. So what I'm saying is that everyone on this webinar is going to receive the benefit of all the clearing that happens. So even if your specific concern didn't come forward, you're still receiving clearing. And I know from working with groups of people that it's amazing when you check in with people in the group that somebody will say, well, what they brought forward was just what I needed to hear, or what needed to be cleared for me. And as you go around the circle, you hear that more and more. So that's the beauty of working in groups, is that we all have the benefit of what others bring forward, knowing that it's also touching an aspect of our lives as well. So I wanted to make that clear for you, so that in some way we're all having our concerns addressed in this webinar. And everyone should I already talked about that, yeah, to just trust the unfolding. The calls are being recorded, and you will have access to the recording, so that if you're not able to attend the webinar on the day, you can still submit your concern ahead of time, and we will have that as part of our webinar. And you will have access to the recording, so you can still receive the benefit of all the clearing that happened on the call. So even if you can't be present on that day, you can still have the benefit of the clearing. Please use your first name when asking a question. Using your first name only then gives you anonymity, so that things remain confidential that come forward. The first name helps me to connect with your soul and bring forward the clearing that wants to happen. And then you have the benefit of others not knowing exactly who this is coming from, so that you have that confidentiality on the recording when that is released. There are times when this recording will be released to people who weren't on this webinar, so just know that there won't be any identifying information coming forward for you that will be related to your question on the call. So I want to tell you a bit about how this release technique works, how I came to be using this release technique. I had done a lot of work for myself. I spent over a year very focused on healing myself, releasing the painful patterns of the past, releasing the wounds, because my life was not what I wanted it to be. My life was really not going very well, and there was a lot of challenge and a lot of struggle, and I finally just got tired of it and realized that if I didn't work on my trauma from the past, then I would never move forward. And in the process of doing that, I realized the great importance and the depth of our beliefs that are created from our childhood. Whenever we go through something it doesn't even have to be traumatic, it can be the smallest thing, but as a child we create beliefs around that, and then we store those beliefs in our subconscious, and we keep responding from that level of being. As children, we often feel like we have to protect ourselves from the world, and so we build up these walls of protection, and then as adults, when we want to respond more fully to the world, we can't, because we have all these beliefs that are in that wall of protection. And it's not until we start to release these beliefs that we really begin to respond in the world from the fullness of who we are, and that we really begin to truly love who we are. And so in the process of my year of healing, I wanted to be able to help others with this, and to help others find this fullness in their life that I have found. And so that's when I developed the release technique. It's a very powerful technique. It goes very deep, as I said. So what happens is I make this statement in regard to what you have brought forward as your concern may all be revealed, and then I go within and I'm able to see the foundation of where this concern came about for you, and then I ask for it to be released. And very often you'll see this releasing through my body. There's a lot of sighing, sometimes there's yawning, sometimes I need to stretch, and often my toning comes through as well. I use sound in my healing practice. I've been doing that for almost 20 years now, and it's a very powerful way of releasing patterns in our cells, releasing patterns in our body, allowing you to receive what wants to come through and release what no longer serves. So there will be sounding. It may be distorted with the speaker, so just know that the sounding will be benefiting. Even if it sounds a bit distorted to you, it's still going to be doing the benefit. So I release, and then I ask for all to be restored. And what happens in that step of the process is that I see you having released those patterns of the past and moving into the fullness of who you are in your soul expression without those patterns. And in that restoring process, I'll share with you a bit of what I'm seeing. And just know that it's important, as this work happens, for you not to respond from the memory of who you were, to allow yourself to respond from the truth of who you are in this moment. So I can do this releasing work for you, and then you can say, oh, but that's not how I respond in this situation. I always do this. So you're not allowing yourself to become the new person that you are without those beliefs affecting your behavior and your thoughts. So it's important to allow ourselves to become the new person that we're really wanting to be, that we're choosing to be. That's why you're here, because you want to release those old belief patterns and become the fullness of who you are. And so just pay attention to where your inclination is to go back to the old way and say, no, I've released that. Now I'm stepping into the fullness of my new expression. And also you'll begin to see, like, things just show up in your world in a different way than they ever did before. It's really quite incredible. It starts to feel kind of magical in a sense, a very happy, joyous magic. I've seen in my own life, I release something and the very next day, things start to show up for me that are just so gracious, such a blessing for me in my life. And I know it's because I released the beliefs that used to resist that and not allow it to come into my experience before. So there's beautiful potential awaiting here with this work, and that's how it happens. And the topic of the call tonight really is just whatever anyone wants to bring forward. So in the seminars going forward, I would like you to think about, through the week, think about what it is that's concerning you in your life, something that perhaps you see happening over and over. You identify a pattern that's there. Perhaps you're always having difficulty communicating with your coworkers. You feel like people don't understand you. Pay attention to those things so that you can bring those concerns to the call the following week, and that is what you will be able to work through. So there is no particular topic. You can bring whatever you like, whatever concerns you. That way it's much more spontaneous, more organic, more related to what's happening to you in your life. So that's how we'll be going forward with these calls. So I just want to start by bringing everybody into this moment, just a little bit of a guided meditation to bring us into the present, bring us into this call together, bring our souls together as a group so that as we do the clearing, we're harmonious with each other and working with each other. I'll start with some toning and then just guide us through into a gentle space, and then I will ask Elke to start bringing forward questions for clearing. So I would ask you all to just be comfortable where you're sitting. If you can, have your feet on the floor and just close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths, just breathing in relaxation and sighing on the out breath, and just releasing any stress or tension of the day on the out breath. So just breathing in relaxation and just sighing on the out breath, just letting everything go. Breathing in relaxation, breathing out any stress or tension. And just feeling yourself more and more relaxed. And I want you to imagine now that you are in a beautiful field. The sun is shining. There's a gentle breeze blowing across your face. The field is full of wildflowers smiling at you. The sky is blue and fresh. There are wisps of clouds floating by. You feel very safe in this place. It is beautiful and comforting. And when you are here, you feel so present in the moment. Just fully aware of everything in your surroundings. Perhaps there are trees or woods nearby. Perhaps you can hear a gentle stream or see the bees moving from flower to flower. You are just fully present in the moment of being. And you notice, being this present, that you are also very aware of your body, as if you were somehow a witness to your body. Not in your mind as much as being fully present in the physical body. You notice your feet moving as you walk. You notice your hands as you reach out to touch a flower. Everything feels very much alive in you. And in this aliveness, you have a much greater connection to the higher aspect of your soul, to the wisdom of you. And so I would like you to bring this with you into the call now. So as you leave that field and you come back into your body, sitting in the chair, you realize that you are very aware of your body. You are aware of the feeling under your seat and the floor under your feet. You are aware that you are sitting here, ready to participate in this webinar. And that awareness is bringing the fullness of your wisdom into your experience. And so again, you just sigh, just releasing anything that has come up as you brought yourself back into your body. Just releasing anything about your day with this beautiful sigh, just letting go. And now coming back into this now moment, into this webinar, simply open your eyes. And I will ask Elke to just show me the first question that's coming forward for today as we prepare to do this release technique for all who are present on the call. And just know that as I do each clearing, I will ask that the clearing happen for everyone on the call. That's my intention, and so when we set our intention, that's what happens in the world. Okay, Elke, so if you could show me the first question, please. Okay, so this question is from Bernadette, and she's saying, I would like help releasing the energy I have carried forward from my lifetime as a Roman soldier, in as far as I need to move forward into the next phase of my life. Okay, Bernadette, so thank you for bringing that forward. So I'm just going to check in. So in the matter of Bernadette, bringing forward energies from her previous lifetime as a Roman soldier, may all be revealed. Okay, Bernadette, so I'm just seeing you there now in those times. And the challenge of those times. And how important it was for everything to be structured. And you were one who naturally would take charge of a situation. So I'm not sure if it was your role as the soldier that you were, if you were in charge officially, but you certainly would take charge and make sure that things were unfolding as they needed to be. So I'll just ask now how that's affecting this current lifetime. So just some releasing happening there now. So I see that you still have that take charge down to business manner of being in the world. Some people can find it to be quite assertive. It does prevent you from just being able to flow with life. You feel that you need to have everything very regimented. You need to have all your ducks lined up in a row. And so there's resistance to flexibility or having change come in, or just flowing with the moment, allowing the moment to deliver what it wants to bring. You are so inclined to have everything all lined up that there's no space for spontaneity, and there's no space for the moment to bring anything new, or there's no space for the higher aspect of your soul to bring forward new experiences for you, because you have this very regimented way of being and this need of having everything prepared and lined up. So just releasing that now. So for all who are on this call, may all matters in this regard be released. Okay. Okay, so feeling that moving through my body now. Okay, and may all be restored. So I just see you now almost surprising yourself. This continues to release as we're doing this, and so it's like, oh, I don't really need to have that exactly lined up that way. I can just see what happens in the moment. So you're feeling much lighter, actually, having released that, knowing that you don't have to be so responsible for every little thing, that there can be some space for things to flow, so it feels like less responsibility for you. So actually I'm feeling your whole energetic field expanding now, and this will be happening for everyone on the webinar. As I feel it for myself, it's happening for everyone, that our whole energy fields are expanding now. It's like we're expanding into a new level of awareness. We can tap into different levels of awareness because we're not so restricted within our own energy field of what we think needs to happen. It's allowing that expansion. Wonderful. Okay, thank you, Bernadette, for bringing that forward. I trust that you'll feel a shift with that. So feeling that allowing yourself to expand into the world now, which then allows the world to come into your experience more, because you're not carrying that same need to be so strict on how things lay out in your day and every moment that you have. So thank you for bringing that forward for us all. Okay, so I'll just clear that and prepare for the next person. Okay, Elke, what is the next issue that's coming forward to be addressed today? Okay, so this one is from Marie. She's saying she would like to release what is holding her back from complete love and acceptance of herself. I would like to feel worthy of all my many blessings. Thank you, Marie, for bringing that forward. That's certainly something that touches us all, so I'm sure we will all benefit from this. So I will just check in for Marie to release what is holding her back from complete love and acceptance of herself. So in the matter of Marie and everyone on this webinar and witnessing this webinar in the future, having concerns and whatever is holding them back from complete love and self-acceptance, may all be revealed. Okay, starting to feel that in the body already, feeling a lot of movement in the solar plexus, which is where our subconscious is connected to the body. Okay, so for Marie, may all be revealed. Okay, Marie, I'm just seeing a lot of criticism of you as a child, like you could never be good enough, you could never do anything right. So just to know that our parents are always doing the best that they can. And very often as a child it can be very challenging for us, and so that self-criticism then has been a belief that you developed for yourself, that you are never good enough, that you're never able to do things well enough. So there's a lot of self-judgment. You're never actually very relaxed or forgiving of yourself. You're always looking for more from yourself, almost like you're still trying to prove yourself. You know, originally it was proving it to your parents, now it's trying to prove it to yourself and to the rest of the world. The parents aren't so much your life experience now, so now it's trying to prove it to everyone in the world. So just releasing that now, releasing that need to prove yourself. And for everyone on this call, okay, so now may all be restored. Okay, so I'm seeing you now feeling much better about yourself, feeling better about who you are, feeling much lighter, feeling like you just don't care what other people think, because you know within your own heart who you are, the truth of who you are. You're feeling totally worthy of this world. There are many layers to everything, but every time we release a layer of this, we're getting closer to the truth and to the love of self. So I see you now just knowing that you deserve good things in this world. It's like you're going to choose to bring different people into your experience because you know that you deserve people who are going to be good to you, to see the value of you that you now see for yourself. So that's why you will attract it into your life experience. So I'll just see if there's anything more around that. No, there's stillness there now. Very good. So thank you, Marie, for bringing that forward. And again, I just want to say that when we release the next day or later today, you may find that you feel worse in a way that you might feel like emotions are coming forward that don't feel very happy or joyous. And it's just releasing, it's pushing out what was, so it's sort of pushing the denser energies to the surface to be released, to make space for the new loving self that's coming forward for you now. So this may or may not be your experience for everyone, but I just want you to know that if you do have that feeling, to know that then moving forward, the fullness of what we've created here will start to come forward, and you'll feel that in your life again. You'll feel that openness to bringing better experiences into your life, more joyous experiences into your life, because of that shift that you've just gone through. So that's beautiful. Thank you. Okay. So, Elke, you can just bring forward the next concern that's coming through. Okay, this one is from Chris. And Chris is asking, how can I focus only on positive thoughts? What a great concern to bring forward. It's so important where we place our thoughts in the world, because more than ever we are creating, more than ever we are creators, because we are in a higher vibrating energy, and in this energy that the earth is now living in, and so we are all living in, things are manifesting faster than ever before. So our thoughts are all creation. Everything in our life experience actually comes from our thinking and our beliefs. That's why we're clearing these beliefs that are limiting and keeping us from creating a joyful life. And so clearing the thoughts that are holding us back are also very powerful. And so having positive thoughts really does help us to create a more beautiful life experience for ourselves. So this is a great concern to bring forward. And so I will ask now, in the matter of Chris, and for all who are on this webinar and to be watching this webinar at a later time, may all be revealed through Chris about how we can focus on positive thoughts only. So may all be revealed, and what is keeping Chris from this vantage point in the world. Okay, Chris, I'm seeing your family as being very critical, not necessarily critical of you, but just critical of other people in general. It is really their own pain that's causing them to be so critical. And so you grew up with that. You grew up listening to a lot of judgment about other people. It was almost as if other people were never good enough, never did anything right. It's like they always had to make themselves feel better by putting other people down. So as a child growing up in this way of being in the family, then everything to you is critical. You look outside and all you see is something to be critical about, because that's what you grew up to see. That's how you were taught to see the world. Okay, so that's starting to clear now. So may all be released. So that's releasing again. Feeling it releasing a lot in the mind as well. A lot of those thought patterns about others not being good enough, not doing things right. Feeling that release now. And ultimately, what I'm receiving now is ultimately that becomes a criticism of the self. For what you see in the outside world is what you believe about your inside world, as within, so without. So we're releasing that criticism of self so that when you look outside of self, you don't see criticism either. So that's what the sounding is releasing right now. And may all be restored. So I'm seeing you now. It's almost like you're looking for some criticism and nothing's there. It's just flat. To you it feels very emotionally flat because you're used to connecting with that kind of dramatic energy of criticism. There's just nothing there now. So you're just like, okay, time to see the world differently. This is great. It's like you're adjusting to coming from a place of stillness, much more stillness than you're used to. And it may take you a while to accommodate that, to get used to that. And then you'll come to really enjoy that. Yes, so now I see you. It's like you're just chilling. Everything's okay. Everything is like, it just even flows right through you. It doesn't even have to bounce back off you. It just flows right through you. So everything's flowing much more joyfully in your life now. Beautiful. Thank you for bringing that forward. That was a great clearing for us all to experience. Okay. And the next concern that has come forward, Elke, please. Okay, this one is from EN. And EN says, I want to have more trust in people and humanity especially. Okay, so a wonderful concern again to bring forward for us all. So in the matter of EN and everyone experiencing this webinar at any time, having trust of others and humanity in general may all be revealed. Okay, I'm seeing a childhood where things were very inconsistent, and as infants, especially in children, that inconsistency, it's like we don't know which way to go, which way to turn, which step to take. Can I do this? Should I do this? It creates a very unsettling feeling. When nothing is consistent and a child doesn't know what to expect, then it's really hard to trust anything, because one day the parent may say, yes, you can jump on the bed, and the next day you can't. So it's like you thought it was okay, but now you're being punished or asked not to do that. And so it's like you don't know which way to go in the world, and it creates great feelings of distrust. It makes it hard. So then I see as you moved into maturity, then you started to bring into your life experience situations where you couldn't trust the people coming into your experience, because that's just what you came to expect again. It's like what we grow up with becomes then a pattern of what we expect in the world, so we create that because that's our expectation. We have to create it. So you've brought situations into your life experience where you truly couldn't trust the people that were coming in. They were definitely not trustworthy. So just releasing that now. Releasing that through the body. Seeing some of the restoring happening now with this sound. It's recreating your childhood experience so that it was a situation where you were looked after very consistently, you were well cared for, and therefore you could trust. So that's bringing more releasing. Okay. So there's a little bit more around this now that I'm just looking at. Also, your parents, there wasn't a trusting relationship there. They didn't trust each other. So we're just doing some releasing around that. Okay. May all be restored. Oh, interesting. Just as I'm asking for that, there's more light coming into my experience through the windows. It's very interesting. So I'm seeing you now responding, everyone who's receiving this clearing, responding differently in the world, allowing people into your life experience more, feeling safer to go up to people and actually start a conversation, trusting that they'll want to engage with you and that you will be feeling safe engaging with them. So that's beautiful. It's a different way of expressing in the world, a different way of showing up in the world. And just much happier and lighter, and your heart can open more now because you can trust. You don't have to have all the walls up. Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay. So thank you, Ian, for bringing that forward. And also know that when we have issues of trust, very often when we have to build protection around our heart, we can't open that up all at once. It can become overwhelming, and we can actually respond in the world with too much trust. You know how they say that the pendulum can swing from one extreme to the other before it finds the balance in the middle. Well, if we open all the way up in one session, then the pendulum will swing to the extreme the other way, and we'll become too trusting for a while, or just have our heart chakra open too wide, and then there's the possibility that we may re-wound ourselves because we're not using discretion. So it's a matter of opening in layers that are safe and manageable, and integrating as we open those layers, integrating each step, so that we are slowly opening and learning the way in the world and stepping in with integrity for ourselves and not moving out of balance in the other direction. So that's always important when working with heartfelt matters and matters that have been traumatic for someone. You don't want to clear it away too fast. Just allow it to be in layers that will allow it to be integrated and be a much healthier way of moving forward. Okay, so we have time for a couple more at least. So what is the next concern that would like to come through? So this one is from RD, and RD is asking, what's the best way to shield from unwanted energy from others? So again, this looks like a very heartfelt matter to me. When we feel like we need to shield ourselves from others, then there's something in our heart that has that fearfulness about it, and so we bring situations into our life experience that are bringing that to us. So this is another one that we will look at for what is bringing that experience, what is actually happening in the heart that wants to shield and needs to shield unwanted energy from others. So in the matter of RD and all who are experiencing this webinar at any time, may all be revealed about the best way to shield unwanted energy from others and what that is revealing. Okay, so I'm seeing again quite an unsettled household in your childhood experience. Things were not always healthy in the matters of what was happening in the household, and so it developed in you that need to feel that you had to protect yourself from your environment. As a child that's very innocent and open, it was all very overwhelming and very scary. So you had to develop ways of closing down your heart and shielding that. So again, you've developed this belief that there are people in your life experience that you have to protect yourself from, because in your childhood that's how you felt. So releasing that now. Okay, and just clearing all of that now, clearing that need, that belief that there are people that you need to protect yourself from. This continuing the webinar. We had some technical difficulty on the last question from RD. So I just want you to know that I've completed that question, did the releasing and the restoring. And RD certainly would have felt the benefit from that, as well as the rest of us on this call. And now I'm doing one more question I think we have time for, and then I will close up this session and tell you more about how you can connect with the future webinars and how to register for that. So I'm just going to connect in again. Elke has sent me a question from Jane, and the question is, I've done a lot of work around releasing resistance to an intimate relationship. Is there something else that needs to be cleared? So again, this is something that a lot of people are experiencing, and we are in times where relationships are changing very quickly, it seems, because people are growing and changing so much. People don't always change together. It's also a time when a lot of people are going through powerful spiritual growth, and very often the way of doing that is doing that alone. So that is also a part of what's happening for many people right now with relationships. But I'm just going to connect in Jane and see what's going on here, and also ask that the releasing and the clearing in this question happen for everyone who's witnessing this webinar at any time. So I'll just connect in with my higher guidance again and go in and ask about this issue that is looking to be released. So in the matter of resisting intimate relationships for Jane and everyone else who is experiencing this, may all be revealed. Okay, I'm seeing some trauma in your childhood around relationship. So your innocence was taken from you, and therefore you don't really trust relationship. So just some releasing around that now. And no one was there really caring for you and protecting you in the way that a child would expect to be protected. So now in your current lifetime, it feels like it's not safe. It's like you're not going to be honored and respected. And so this starts with you honoring and respecting yourself. So anything that is resisting you from honoring and respecting yourself, and therefore knowing that it is safe to be in relationship, may all be released. And also safe to be a sexual being. Very often, if that's what the trauma is related to, then it doesn't feel safe to be that. It feels like you're going to be dishonored again. So I'm feeling a lot of emotion around that. A lot of sadness there. So releasing that. That, I'm just going to see if there's more to be released around this, about not allowing intimate relationship in. So again, it's that fear of being vulnerable. Allowing an intimate relationship to come in means being vulnerable in your life experience. So just releasing now the insecurity around allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Knowing that it's safe to open up that way. Okay, and I'm getting an urge now to clear and release anything that keeps it from being playful. So, clearing anything that doesn't allow playfulness in that, exploring your sexuality and allowing intimate relationship. Anything that keeps that from being playful, may that be released. Okay. And may all of that be restored now. All that fear around intimate relationship in every way, may that be restored into fullness now. A lot of releasing in the solar plexus. Also almost a sick feeling there in the releasing. So in the restoring now, I'm seeing you like, oh yeah, baby. Just being very playful, able to move into someone, feeling safe moving into that, feeling safe being open, knowing that you're in charge, that nobody can take anything from you that you're not willing to give. You're in charge now. You're not a little child anymore, so you can make decisions, and the patterns that were holding you back have been cleared, so now you can be very strong in who you are. You can step fully into the feminine, move into embracing relationship and moving into someone, knowing that you're perfectly safe. So it's okay to be playful with that. It's actually fun. And that's something really new for you. You're going to enjoy this actually. You're going to enjoy exploring this and allowing yourself to open up more, opening your heart again to this. And just play and flirt, even though it's not going to lead anywhere, it's not going to mean anything. Just playing with that's going to be really healthy for you. Just allowing that to happen and just knowing that you're in charge and you can walk away at any point in that. But you're in a much better place of staying present with it. You're going to be okay to stay present with it. And you can look someone in the eye, so I'm just realizing that's not something that you could always do. Now you can look them in the eye. It's almost challenging them with your femininity. It's like you're strongly there and you're pulling them in. You're not running away anymore. And so you're magnetizing with your eyes in playfulness still. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So again, Jane, thank you for bringing that forward for all of us. May everyone feel the benefit of that, everyone who is in a place that can benefit from that. So thank you all for being on this call. I just want to say, if you have enjoyed what you've seen here, of course, we would like you to register for the next 6 sessions, the next 5 sessions in the series. This is the first one, and it gives you a sense of what the experience will be like. And when you're personally on the call, you're going to have that opportunity to have your question answered personally, and also just have the energy of being on the call. Again, it's incredible how groups of people come together and how it benefits all of us, and we realize that the connection is perfect in the way it's come together. And also, if you want a personal session, when people are registered for the webinars and they want to continue to do more work, we actually offer you 2 personal sessions and a free one. So you get 3 for the price of 2. And so you can get a half-hour session for $30. So you would get 2 for $60, and the third one would be free. So essentially you're getting 3 half-hour readings for $60. The other option is to book 45-minute sessions, and you will get 2 for $90 and the third one free. And you can also book 3 60-minute sessions and pay for 2. So you get 3 full hour sessions for $120. So that's definitely a good price for those who have gone through the webinar and realize that they want to continue with this work. I certainly continued for a full year doing 2 or 3 clearing sessions a week, and the benefits on the other side of it have been just fabulous. I'm just in a place of great peace in my life and great faith and everything unfolding and experiencing things just flowing into my life. It just continues to happen, and it's wonderful to watch. It really becomes very joyful and playful to see what my higher self has lined up for me that I'm now allowing to flow in. So just know that when you go to roshana.ca and you go to the group clearing page, you can sign up for the webinars, and also then you'll also have access to these special discounts on one-on-one sessions. And I also want you to know that as you're coming into the following sessions, so when you're preparing for the webinar, just remember to be focused on what you want to bring forward as your concern for that week, so that you can put that into the chat box as soon as you come on to the webinar. And I also want to let you know, in case something happens in the future where you come on the webinar and you can't see me or you can't hear me, to simply refresh your page. If you book into the webinar before I've actually made it live, then you will need to refresh your page in order to be connected with the live call. So just know that going forward, that if you can't see or hear me, then just refresh your page, and that should take care of that. And we love feedback. Any testimonials that you have from the experience of watching this webinar in the future when you're on the webinars, really any critical information that will help us move forward, make changes that might be more beneficial for the participants on the webinar. We're definitely open to hearing that. And of course, we love to hear any changes, transformations that you're seeing in your life. Even though I do this work and I've been doing it for a while, it's always such a blessing to receive feedback from people about what they're experiencing, because it always just affirms and helps me know that this work is supporting and is being of service and is helping people move forward in their own life, because that's really why I'm here. That's my greatest desire, is to help others come to the place of being content and joyful in your life, having released all those beliefs that keep you from moving forward. We're in a time where it's important for everyone to step into the fullness of who they are. Everyone's divine gifts are needed on the earth at this time, and when we've released a lot of our belief systems that are holding us back, it allows us to step fully into that, and we're just making the world a better place, the more of us who are walking in that light and walking in the place of fully loving ourselves. So it's truly a gift and a pleasure to bring this forward and to hear your feedback about how that's affecting you in your own personal experience. And I want to give thanks to everyone who has been on this webinar, and say that you are truly honoring yourself by being present and allowing change to happen. I know it can be a difficult thing to allow yourself to move and grow into someone new, and so I really want you to pay attention to that as well, that after you're on these sessions that things are shifting and changing, and so it's important to allow yourself to become that new person that you are without those beliefs that you've just released. So watch for that. Watch how you're ready to respond differently in the world, and allow yourself to do that. The more we change our limiting beliefs, the more we move into self-love, and that's really, the more we love ourselves, the more true love we can bring into the world. So that's really a gift for ourselves and for everyone. The more life experience reflects our love too, as we start loving ourselves, and we bring more loving experiences into our life because we believe we deserve it. Until we believe we deserve it, we might think we deserve it, but until we truly believe that, we won't allow it to come in. So the more we move into this place of self-love, then the more our life experience shows us that we are loving ourselves, because beautiful, loving support comes into our lives. And our lives just continue to improve and become more joyful as we do this work. So, again, I want to thank you for being here, for honoring yourself, and for connecting with me and giving me the opportunity to share this beautiful work with you. It truly is an honor and a privilege, and I really mean that from my heart. So thank you again, and please continue to sign up for the webinars so that you can experience more of this and have the opportunity to move into the full expression of who you are and who you've come to be in this world. So much love to you.